Hey everybody, SW Miron here. I am proud to present to you episode 29 of Glass Skull's Mental Health Podcast. For anyone that's new and is wondering how I came up with that name, I have always had kind of an obsession with like dark art and like skulls and skeletons and bones and just things that represent the dark. And honestly, I think it's because I spend much more of my life living in the dark than I'll ever see in the light. But I sure as hell look for that light every single second that I get. Um, so yeah, like I have so many different artists that I listen to music wise. And I had I think it was 3 different people this week that sent me like emails or messages asking for like some more specific artists, songs, what have you, that like help me use music as a coping mechanism. So the first one that comes to mind, and I'm gonna be all over the board here because that's kind of how my music taste has been, and like my OG, like original go-to boys were Fall Out Boy and A Day to Remember. Totally different like genres of what they do. Like Fall Out Boy is like an alternative, like punk rock kind of. More so where A Day to Remember is like a pop punk metalcore. So it has that like screaming element. It has more like angry lyrics that are really direct, which is nice because I feel like so many of their songs completely representing like how you feel, and they're saying the words that you wish you could be saying to this idiot who like was in your life for a long time, and then you finally got rid of them because you finally decided to take better care of yourself and not let yourself be treated like shit by people. Yeah, I needed to listen to angry music to get through that period of time because there was just so much pain that this individual had caused, and I'm so unbelievably overprotective of my family. So, yeah, trash got taken out. But A Day to Remember certainly helped me through that. Their most recent album, Big Ol' Album #1, is really great because it has a nice mix in there. Like there's some of like the lighter pop punk kind of songs, and then there's ones that are definitely more like they're fueled with anger, and it's speaking what is ultimately my truth, right? So like as I'm singing along with the lead singer Jeremy McKinnon, I'm like, these words, I literally could have wrote the song, or like I could have said all of these words without ever knowing this song existed because this is spot on right now. So those are the 2 bands that I would say are like my go-to forever, ever, ever. Like Fall Out Boy is cool because they're really good lyricists, and they are really kind of avant-garde in a lot of ways. They do stuff outside the box. Their song titles are like wild. Like one of them is called like "My Lawyer Made Us Change the Name of this Song So We Wouldn't Get Sued." Like you don't have any way of knowing what you're getting into when you're just like clicking on a song by its title, because it's very few and far between for Fall Out Boy to have like the title be the song. They're very poetic, and they're deep, they're dark sometimes, but they definitely still have this lightheartedness of kind of like being the people who like always want to get the girl but never get the girl, but they're gonna still keep trying because that's what you do when you're in love. I don't know. They have a lot of great music, and like they have had, they've been around for so long now, a good at least 20 years. And like I listen to mostly like their first like 3 albums. Those are the songs I go to the most. But like as the years went on and their style changed a little here and there, like they created music that like I still haven't heard all of it yet, but I'm okay because I have the specific songs that I cling to because I just know how they make me feel. And like if I'm feeling some type of way, like if I'm feeling really sad, like there's a bunch of Fall Out Boy songs that I would go to listen to because I just feel like it's like, okay, like I am not alone. Like somebody else who is out there, whether it's the actual band Fall Out Boy or somebody that helped write their song or whatever, they feel how I'm feeling. So, two really solid ones. Now, I'm not really into country music very much, I will say. I mean, I like a little bit of it, don't get me wrong, but it's just not like my go-to genre. I teach dance, and hip hop's my favorite, and I kind of gravitate toward like rap and hip hop. So recently, like much later on in life, so in the past like 2 years, I found a few different artists that I connected with on such an emotional level that I was like, you know what? Like, I've heard all kinds of rumors about, this person, the music they make. There's good stuff about it, bad stuff about it, just like there would be about anything. But knowing, like, so MGK, Machine Gun Kelly is yeah, that's his full, like, performer name, but he goes by MGK now. And he got sober, like, I want to say in 2023, and he wrote in one of his songs about being stuck in rehabilitation when he's on Christmas. And the last time that I went to a psychiatric hospital was because I like had a really bad bout of suicidal thoughts and stuff, and I had to go, and I knew I was going to be in there for Christmas, and I was devastated going in, but I knew I needed to do what was best for me. And somehow, like, when I listened to his songs, especially the ones off his newest album, Lost Americana, he used to be like strictly rap, hip hop, but then he kind of evolved, and some people actually call him a multi-genre king, MGK, instead of Machine Gun Kelly, because he is somebody that's proven time and time again he can just reinvent himself and begin again and begin again. And that's a huge piece of like what I talked about in my book, Scenes from My Skeleton Closet. It's, the emphasis of, one of the keynotes that I hit anytime I give a presentation to people about struggling with mental illness or battling, substance abuse or whatever. So he's really cool because, he kind of changed up his sound. Like, I do love some of his like old hip hop songs. Like, if I'm kind of like, I don't know, grumpy, bitchy, like just irritated, disgusted, those types of emotions, I definitely go to some of his like old rap, but it's like awesome. Like El Diablo, top notch. Also Alpha Omega is another really good one. But his newer stuff that he was writing, like ever since he got, made this major change in his life, and he, got rehab so that he could, get on the right path and like be the best dad he could be to his two daughters. He wrote just such like music that was sensitive on a level that I'd never heard him create music before. And then actually I had come to find out that I had just been late to the party. He had been making other music before that was after rap, that was like alternative, like pop punk. And like he crushed that. Like he has like 3 albums worth of that content. And then he reinvented himself again once he took some time, did some writing, deals with the day in and day out that he stresses with. And I feel like everything he touches turns to gold. So I would definitely recommend the song Treading Water. It's off his album Lost Americana. One of the lines in it is, sometimes you gotta see what's waiting on the other side to know your soul's worth saving. It's like every time, like, oh, it's just when you need to hear it, Not a big country fan, but there is a song that came out by Dan and Shay, and they have some like really good music. I'm not like a huge country fan, like I said, so like I don't like put them on regularly, but once I found the song Say So, I did. That is a great song that they wrote about somebody that died due to suicide, and they just really encapsulated like what the human experience might be surrounding those circumstances. And the reality is, somebody kills themselves every 43 seconds. Every 43 seconds. Like, I wish I could like come through the screen and just like to anybody who's watching this who's like, what? There's no way it's that many, blah, blah. Do your research, okay? Like, got the statistics from the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. They're pretty much up on their shit. So, anytime there's something created like that song, Say So is the name of it, like that's a beautiful one to have in your arsenal because it can help you cope with, struggles surrounding suicide ideation. It can help you cope with if you lost someone to suicide. And it really just has some beautiful, beautiful sentences in there. Like there's one that's like, if there was a room full of people that cared, it'd be crowded. Like as if this person didn't even realize the impact they had and like the people that loved them, but now they're gone and they'll never see it. But to like make the choice to like make that sentence, I think is so beautiful. So that's a really good one. Lupe Fiasco is a rapper that's definitely more of like hip hop. He has a song called The Show Goes On. And when I was a teacher working with kids who lived in poverty and dealt with a lot of crisis and everything in their everyday lives, it was challenging, like to, keep the morale and not get like burnt out because it was a very hard job. But I absolutely loved it, and I wouldn't have chosen any other kids to teach in the whole world. So it's like, and don't get me wrong, like I'm not like in any way complaining. But like you did, like as the professional working in these jobs with these like really intense, scary, disturbing situations that you find out about your students, it's tough, right? So for me, there were two songs that I used to listen to always on the way to work, and I would always cry. But I like looked at it like, this is your time to like cry now, get it out, and then you're gonna park and you're gonna take a deep breath. You're gonna go in and you're gonna be like a superhero teacher again. And you're going to make those kids have the best 6.5 hours every single day, 5 days of the week. So that's really, it's really special to get to be in that role and provide that type of support. So Lupe Fiasco, The Show Goes On, it's a great one. And it really just talks about how you have to keep going. Like, like if you ever thought, things were like all done and it's just over and you're giving up, like that's not Lupe Fiasco's mindset at all. He absolutely is like, it's like an anthem for the underdogs. So good. My Chemical Romance, Welcome to the Black Parade. I love that so much. I identify very much as like me as a person living with mental illness and a lot of trauma. I subscribe to the idea that I don't fit in with like most people. And I think that's actually like kind of cool because I'd rather stand out than fit in any day. Wouldn't want to go through some of the shit I went through to get that particular, state. But I always looked at it like, if you've been in these like psychiatric hospitals and you battled pervasive mental illness and trauma your whole life, and you like are fortunate enough to find somebody else who's been through very similar stuff, you kind of like commiserate together in a way that's so special that like no one can understand unless they've been through the same thing. And we all used to talk about it in the hospital over and over that like, we could make up the Black Parade. Like, we, no matter like what happens, like we'll carry on. And that's the big point of that. It's like people that are the island of misfit toys, basically in a parade of, yeah, do or die, you'll never break me, like that type of mindset. And I know they're probably like not everybody's cup of tea, but like, I don't know. To me, it's like the metaphor they made, and I really like relate to that. I totally feel like I'm a member of the island of misfit toys, and honestly, there's no place I'd rather be. So let me think. I feel like there's like one more. All right, the last one I'll leave you with. Lady Gaga. So she's like pop. Not like a big genre that I listen to, but she has a bunch of beautiful songs. I mean, she's an incredibly talented artist. She has a song called The Cure. And when I worked with this one little boy, I'll tell you what, he had my heart. Like, he was the hardest kid I ever worked with. Like, it was, I won't disturb you. He was a tough little guy. He went through a lot. On my way to work, on the days that things were really tough with him, I would listen to the song The Cure on repeat all the way to work. And I think it says something like, if I can't find the cure, I'll fix you with my love. And that just absolutely resonated with exactly like the kind of self pep talk you need to give to be able to dive back into that type of battlefield and know you're going to see some more really disturbing stuff. Know you're going to like, your heart is going to be like broken and you're like trying to keep your composure as the adult in these crisis situations. But the bottom line is, I was there because I was going to love them. And it didn't matter what they came with. It didn't matter what they called me, what furniture they threw at me. I mean, anything. Because they aren't the behavior. Like, that doesn't represent who they are. They're doing that behavior because there's a reason for it. And if you don't know the reason for it, it's really tricky. You got to try to crack that code and figure out the reason, because then you can start to see patterns and cycles, and you can almost kind of predict, like, oh, it's a Friday really close to the anniversary of this specific trauma for this little guy. He's probably going to have a really rough couple of days leading up to that, and stuff like that. But I'll tell you, music, it's always been there. It always will be there. There's new music being released every single day. I said last one, but this is last one, I promise. There's a song, and this is like the dark humor in me, so you have to kind of understand that that's kind of how I am. There's a song that is based off, I think it was Matchbox 20's song that was like, I'm not crazy, I'm just a little unwell. Well, there was a new artist called Charlie on a Friday. He has a song called I'm Not Crazy, and I clicked on it, and he says, I'm not crazy, I'm just a little fucked up. And just those like two sentences won me over immediately, because if I put a quantity to the number of times in my life I've been called crazy, wow. I mean, I've been called that more than really anything else. So, I mean, I think it's kind of cool to look at it like I'm not crazy. I'm just a little fucked up. And that somehow brings me peace. Food for thought. Well, I want to say thank you to the couple of individuals that reached out asking about the songs. I'm going to let you guys go, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. If you have any specific questions, topics, scenarios you want to talk about, or you would want me to kind of talk about, please, please, please don't be shy. Like, send me a DM on Instagram or on Facebook, or they're linked right like to these videos, to this channel. I will always respond to everybody that reaches out. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you next time. Bye.